The Night Walker, Éire, by Dennis Michael Corcoran. A small, unrefined cottage in the Highlands of Ireland, the west of County Donegal. The roads are merely worn trails in these parts, much upland bog, craggy hillsides and sea cliffs separate small villages, one from the other. Outside the villages, neighbors are scattered about, some with sheep, a few with cattle, almost all having to work hard to eke by. Outsiders see this as a lonely, rather desolate area. To those born and raised here, it has a beauty, a haunting beauty to be sure, of its own. It is late on an evening. The terrible storm is raging. The wind is howling, rain pouring down. The father, Donald Oak, is at the window, pensive, worried about Siobhan. Anya is at the sink, cleaning up after late afternoon tea. Act 1.
It's a hard night, cold, windy.
Aye, and a terrible rain in it as well.
I'll put my turf in the fire, Anya. Please, my bones ache from the cold without it.
Anya dries her hands and begins to do as asked.
Do you think I should be putting a candle in the window?
Oh, let's see, it's the old folk or the superstitious one.
It's not a superstition, Carl.
But to summon the night walkers. Have you ever seen a night walker? Or heard of one it has?
They're not like what you're saying, Doc. Night walkers. They're just ordinary travelers, unlucky enough to be out on the roads on nights such as this is all.
And in all me
She's
days,
putting turf down and sits in a chair by the fire.
have I ever seen one?
And in all your days, did you ever put a candle in the window to welcome them?
No, because I don't believe in the night walkers.
There you go again. There's nothing to believe in. Where'd you get all that talk about night walkers, ghosts and fairies and such? They're just poor strangers.
Growing up in this very house, me mammy would talk to them, especially on nights such as this. She said they were ghosts, or even worse. Messengers come to warn us or lead us off. Now she was a good one for the superstitions.
Did you believe in them yourself then?
Me? No. Well, maybe. But not all of it. Oh, there's some queer things though. Give a person a fright. I've seen things myself. But no.
And what would you want to happen if you was out on such a night, needing a dry place and a warm fire? You remember Mrs. Cunningham a few weeks back, coming by on just such a night, caught in that awful storm.
I wish I could forget the old hag. Her with a snoot full of the drink. Too full of the drink to go home she was. And that's exactly my point. I never seen a night walker, because no one with a tipple of a common sense God gave a goat would be traipsing about on a night like this.
Aye, goat it is. You're nothing but a stubborn old goat yourself, threatening to turn her out like you did.
Thanks to Éire. Go on and put the candle in the window store. No harm. Besides, Siobhan's out there. Might give her a bit of comfort seeing the glow.
I wish she'd not gone out. But the candle's no comfort to one in the sheeting. You can't see the window from up there.
Still,
Is it? A superstitious old goat, that's all you are.
there's no way to be talking to your dog. What would your mom say? She'd be putting a scold on you, the likes of which.
Mom's gone, dog. She's gone.
I know she's gone. But it still grieves me so. I saw her in this house and in here.
I'm sorry, dog. It's just hard. You, Siobhan, have memories. Me, only stories and heartache. But like the priest says, she's with us still.
Oh, priest me arse! We try to charm the eyes at you for us extra clink in the collection box, or a drop of the poachine.
Ah, that's sacrilege! Cursing the priest.
I'll curse the priest if I want. It's the least I should do. I should care for all the money I've handed him over the years. I should have my own seat there in the church with my name carved in it and all.
And everyone would know you weren't there. In the seat with them big carved letters. Donald Oak McGinley, not here on the Lord's Day again. You need to either get religion, dog, or give up the notion of a carved oak bench for yourself.
I'll swear off the drink sooner than go back to other.
And what happens when I meet a man and we're to marry you?
Don't avail. I've no talk of you and men and all that other, not in this house, not as long as I walk this earth.
Don't you want grandchildren, dog? We barons.
Lord, no! List! Start a shin. We parents, oh Jesus.
They fall silent, each lost in thought. Anya hurt over her father's refusal to see she has become a young woman. Donald Oak, feeling yet again an intense loneliness over the loss of his wife, giving birth to Anya. Only the sound of the storm breaks the silence.
I'll put the candle in the window.
And, what's the kilt on to? Would you, Mickey? Some tea will be good.
Anya puts the kettle down for tea, puts the candle in the window. As she does this, she hums and sings a favorite tune, The Boatman, or in Irish, Féireachta. Meanwhile, her father's thoughts turn again to Siobhan, up with the shieling on such a terrible night.
It's an awful one out there, dog. I think it's growing worse.
Aye, I'm worried after Siobhan.
Me too. It's an uneasy feeling I have about her.
Aye, be queuing, Anya. We've plenty of dry turf. A good dry, bit of thatch over our heads. She'll be fine. She knows the paths and fields better than either of us. And she's plenty tough, an old peacock she is.
All the same. The wind's blowing like a knife cutting through you. And the damp. I'm going off to help her.
You'll do no such thing. I'll not hear of it. Siobhan's bundled up good. She knows how to keep herself as dry as can be. I won't have the two of you out there.
All the same, dog. We shouldn't have let her go. The cows know better than we folk how to take care of themselves in the likes of this.
It's all my own fault. Forgetting to take the gate down.
No matter whose fault, she should be home by now.
I'll go check on her.
Donald crosses over to the coat, hooks near the door, puts on his heavy woolen coat, his boots, and prepares to go out into the night.
And no one with the tickle of the common sense.
Wait, young'un. All sounds from you now.
If you can curse the priest, surely I can sauce me, dog.
Oh, he can't do nothing but refuse you the sacraments. You'll be skating on thinner ice here, love. Make sure the tea is ready for Siobhan. And dry clothes. She'll be needing them. And maybe a wee bite.
I will. Be curing my family, dog. I have a queer feeling about this evening.
Night walkers. Candles in the window, goose and pigs. Now you mind you. We'll be along soon, so can God willing.
I will, dog.
Donald leaves. Anya closes the door behind him and goes to the window to watch as he disappears into the inky darkness. She begins to hum Féireachta again, then starts to straighten up the house. She begins to sing the words, but almost as fast as she starts, her singing is interrupted by a heavy pounding on the door. She starts the first sound, then goes to the door, warily but with curiosity. She opens it. Standing in the doorway is a tall, well-built woman, young in appearance, covered in a long cloak, with a hood over her head.
God bless all in this house.
And may God hold you in his hand. There's a welcome before you. It's a frightful night.
Thank you for your kindness. Speaks well of him.
You must be soaked. Let me take your cloak.
As Anya reaches to help the woman with her cloak, Anya realizes it's totally dry. Anya recoils a brief instant, but continues to help remove her wrap, now a bit fearful. The woman does not react, seemingly not noticing any of this. The night walker crosses slowly to the fire and warms herself as Anya, surprised, a bit frightened, watches.
Bless you again. Fire is a gift from heaven. Don't you think?
Aye, it is. Please sit. Be comfortable. I'll fill the kettle again.
Thank you.
There's fresh bread made today and butter, a wee bit of cheese. Are you hungry?
No, but thank you. I'm accustomed to only the occasional meal. Tea will be perfect, though. It's a sharp wind out there this night.
Where does your journey take you?
You must have kin out in the likes of this. Surely one so young does not live alone.
'Tis true. Me dying sister up in the Sheelan,
Urgent business then, to lure them out.
tending to some stranded cows.
May the Lord bring them home safely.
Aye, indeed.
Comfortable home you have here.
Thank you. Yes, it is meagre, but we make do.
It has changed little since I was last here.
You've been here. In our home before. I don't remember you.
It was the night you were born. Such sadness.
To cause your own mother's death.
Wished, child. It was your mother's time, not your coming, which caused that sorrow. Why do you look on me so?
You are so young. You look to be my age, no older, surely. How could you have been here that night?
I am far older than you think, though my looks do not betray me.
Did you know me, Mom? Were you friends?
Yes, of a kind. But let's not discuss such things now. I sense in your eyes it pains you. Is the tea ready?
Oh, yes. I'll fetch it. And we have some sugar, an uncommon blessing. Would you like some? And cream? Oh, tea is so very good with cream and sugar.
No, but thank you again. Sugar is dear. Your hospitality grand, but plain tea is most to my liking.
As Anya prepares the tea, she works up the courage to ask the woman about her clothing, finally blurting out,
But your clothing,
Yes,
it seems of an old style.
I thought you to remark on my cloak.
I was coming to that. I don't understand. Your cloak is dry, the hem of your skirt and your shoes, they're dry as well, and your stockings, and...
Yes, all dry.
But how can that be?
You do not know who I am.
No. But, yes, a traveler.
You've not heard the stories
What stories?
of nightwalkers.
Oh, Kinsha. Me da says his mammy-o talk to them, but I always heard they were men, and they're just superstitions anyway. Me da says he doesn't believe in them, but I think he does. He says they're evil too. Sometimes Aranos.
Do you sense evil in me?
No. Well, no, I don't think so. Besides, you're a woman and...
And nightwalkers are just travellers, yes, I know. And you noticed, I am a woman. I'm flattered.
But how...
Hush, let's not play with the words. Listen to what I say, child. It is important. I am a nightwalker. We do not heed the laws of this world. I came tonight to take one with me.
What do you mean, take one with you?
You do not remember your mother.
No, of course not. She died bringing me into this world.
Yes, it's true. She died in this very room, beside the fire where we ourselves are now. on a night such as this.
But you can't know that. Why do you say such? You weren't there. You couldn't have been here. You're too young. No older than me. You could only have been a wee child yourself.
I am not now, nor have I ever been a child.
You're trying to frighten me. Everyone was a child.
Not so. And there's no need to be frightened.
Or so you say. Who are you?
We've come full circle. I am a night walker.
Night walkers are men who tell stories in exchange for shelter and
All true, save for this. We are shapes, shades, not man or woman, and yes, we tell stories. It is our gaish to speak words in exchange for hospitality. But our words are not mere stories. We tell of days begone and days to come and the fortunes of those within.
what am I to do then?
What about? Me? This mouse?
Yes, me Da and Siobhan. They're up in the ceiling.
Yes, I saw them.
You did no such thing. Me Da closed that very door just before you came, and your cloak is dry as skeleton's bones.
You might, you fight what you know in your heart is true.
If you're a night walker, then accept my hospitality.
I have already done so.
Tim, you owe me. You must tell a story in exchange for this fire and that tea, for the warmth and comfort afforded you. Is that not so?
Indeed, that is so.
Then do so. I'll pour more tea and you tell your story.
I'm sorry if I make you ill at ease, child.
And if I am, it's not you who's the cause. It's me, Da and Siobhan, out on this night. It's this queer feeling I have, and you come into our door.
You needn't worry for them. They shade my galar. They'll be fine. They'll be along soon enough and no worse for it they'll be. But I sense more in your voice than that. I frighten you.
No. Well, a bit perhaps, but I don't believe in ghosts or puka, banshees and the like. That's old superstition. But
Yes.
what do you mean when you say you were here when me ma died? When I was born?
Exactly that, Anya.
How do you know my name? I didn't tell you my name. I've never seen you in these parts before.
You didn't have to tell me. I was here when your da held you close. Tears streaming down his cheeks, torn between his love of you and grief for your ma. They held you out. Before him gazed deeply into your sharp grey eyes and spoke the tenderness that would melt the ice in Loch Corn. Then he whispered, Anya, in your ear. We knew in that moment you would be fine. You would grow healthy, strong, become a roof beam for your da, even as your ma found death.
Was it peaceful? Was there pain? Was she passing grace?
She did all of that without pain.
And did she see me?
Not only that, child. She held you firm to her breast. Your eyes met. Even as a newborn, it was like you had always known each other.
And did she speak at all?
A few words only, too faint for us to understand. But you listened. You heard, to be sure. In the quiet of your own heart, her words must still be there. Have you not ever heard them? Have you not ever felt them?
Ah, this is crazy business. Why are you saying this in you? A traveler is all, out on a foul night. Drink your tea now. Warm yourself and no more of this.
Obviously still much affected by the woman's words, Anya tries to bolster her own courage, to break the spell of the woman's words. She crosses to the window, gazes out at nothing, lost in thought. Silence.
Will you be staying the night?
Am I welcome?
Of course. It won't be said a McKinley refused a stranger hospitality.
You have a generous nature, child.
You'll have to sleep here on the bench, or on the floor, near the fire if you prefer. We've no empty bed in this house.
It's no trouble, Anya. Any place will do.
As Anya gets blankets and prepares a place for the night walker to sleep, she questions her.
You know my name, but I don't know your own. Goddess Anambich.
Éire. Banba. Fodla.
Stop that! You're only reciting names of ancient goddesses. Maha, Hayton, Morrigan. Do you take me too young or too stupid to not know that?
Ten will Aisling suit you.
What would suit me is your real name. So is that it? Aisling. And Isley. Although now I don't know if that's your real name or just something you've conjured up for my benefit.
You've got fire in you, Anya. I like that.
And I hope you've got a story in you, Aisling. It is time.
We should wait, child. Your Da and Siobhan will be along soon. My gas requires I speak to all who dwell within a house.
Here you go again. So you know Siobhan's name as well. There's no great trick in that. Everyone in these parts know the McGinleys. We've lived here all our lives and for generations before us. Everyone knows Siobhan, the beautiful McGinley girl with the spirit of a warhorse. They say it'd be easy enough to find out that much about any of us.
And what do they say of you?
I thought to be asking you that question. You know so much. You tell me?
Yes, I know what they say. But I also know the truth of it.
And what's the truth of it?
On the surface, you seem dark, deep at times, not a child at all. Some in these parts are frightened of you. Some even say you yourself might carry the spirit of your own mother.
I've heard such whispered. Not but ignorant people and their superstitions it is.
I know, too, how deeply you feel about your mother's absence. I saw the two of you together that night. No one believes a newborn could make such a bond, but I saw it. Their spirits met, touched, tarried a while in the passing, you in the coming, your ma in the going.
Anya turns her back to the night walker, faces the fire, sits on the floor with her knees gathered up to her chest. She is listening, but more she is thinking of her mother, recalling the unfulfilled dreams she carries inside her of what could have been.
I know you feel a deep loss. I know how often you think of her. And sure, your distance from those around you frightens them a bit. But I know the truth of it.
Is there a life after death?
That's not for me to say, my child.
So you don't have a story for Tatman then, is it?
Oh, I didn't claim to create this world. I merely walk in it. I don't know why, don't know for how long. I don't even know if I was ever among you or if I was always this way. Fill the kettle again. They'll be walking in that door any moment.
A strange one you are. Sure, knowing our names and you ma dying, breathing life into me, all that easy enough to come by. But saying me Da and Siobhan are about to walk in, I've heard nothing. And it's good ears I have on me too.
And if I'm right,
If you're right. What about it if you're right?
will you at least admit the possibility?
Of ghosts and the like. You being one of them? No. But I'll grant you this. What you've said about me ma, me. There's something there no one could know. Not even me Da and Siobhan know the feelings I have. How at times, almost always, we talk. Stop now, this is none of your business. Only my own Shanae. Yet, who knew of that? Some of that.
All of it, my child. You're not so alone as you think.
God forgive me, the priest will be doing an exorcism in here if this keeps up.
As Anya speaks, the door opens. Siobhan and her father, Donald, enter. Anya jumps up and crosses quickly to the door to greet them and to help them remove their damp clothing.
What's this about exorcisms? Be no priest in my house performing exorcisms on anyone other than themselves, the thieves.
Oh, Siobhan, I was worried sick about the two of you. Let me hug you.
For pity's sake, girl, let me get my coat off first, least you drown.
I don't care. I was worried about you, so are you okay?
Sure, I'm fine. Wet and cold is all, but I couldn't ask for anything more. A warm smile and a hug. You're better than having a wee puppy at home waiting.
They all enter. Donald Oak stops short when he sees the night walker. He stands over to the side, not speaking, but keeping his eyes on the night walker, suspiciously. Siobhan continues in, curious, friendly, walks directly up to her and shakes her hand.
Siobhan McGinley I am, and yourself?
Aisling.
Terrible night to be out, isn't it? But I trust Anya made you welcome.
Aye, she has indeed. She's a fine child, she is.
Tea for your dad.
Donald doesn't speak. Siobhan notices his strange behavior, but goes to the cooker to fetch tea and doesn't mention it.
You don't look more than 15 yourself. Not a fit thing for one so young to be out on a night like this. Must be some terrible business which brings you this way.
Oh, much the same as your sister said.
Sure, you're not from these parts.
True enough. Just passing through.
But there is something awful familiar about you. Have we met somewhere, Jen?
Aye, long ago when you were much older.
When we were both much younger, no doubt.
Siobhan, come on now. You have to get out of those wet clothes. You're soaked to the bone. I'll help you dry off and get changed, and I'll fetch you some tea and a special treat. Fresh bread and butter. And sugar in your tea, too. Imagine that.
I dearly love you, Anya. I don't know what I'd ever do without you.
You'd get along just grand. But right now you have to change.
Anya and Siobhan go to their bedroom. In the main room, the night walker, Aisling, finishes her tea. Donald Oak stares at her. She ignores him. Complete silence. Meanwhile, the sisters in the bedroom do what sisters do.
And what were you doing while I was up in the ceiling?
Oh, I sang some of that tune you taught me for Walter.
Did you now? And pining after Sean McGuire, I suppose, too.
The dog hears of that, he'll pack me off to a convent. You know how he is, thinking us girls were meant to be virgins and saints and all.
Oh, don't mind him. The idea of his daughters and sex, they can't come together in the same tot. And it just might be the only thing to drive him back to the church.
Oh, and we wouldn't want that to happen now, would we? Imagine the shock it give the neighbors, seeing him in his personal carved oak chair. Might send some of the older folk to their sick beds.
God forbid we do anything to cause him to take up religion again. Awfully quiet out there, don't you think? What do you suppose they're doing?
Listening to us, maybe. The snooks. Why so quiet out there? Neither of you were at a loss for words earlier. Maybe that'll get them chatting. You should have heard him earlier. All I said was, what they'll do when they're married. You think I poked him with the fire iron? Oh, Jesus, he roared like a wild beast. And yourself now, Siobhan. You're the handsome one. Why aren't there any lads coming around here putting the fright of the devil on dog and charming the knickers off you?
Anya McGinley, what kind of thing is that to say to your own sister?
And if not my own sister, then who?
Well, that is none of your concern then, is it? But there might be someone.
Oh, might me arse. I saw you with that young Gallagher lad.
Enough of that now! Enough of the talk of lads better than all you hear. I mean, none of them local bucks coming out here if I can help it.
I told you.
Oh, forget it now. Let's sing some of that Pharaoh water. You want to?
Aw, it's a sad one. I love it, but I don't feel like singing a sad one right now. It's a gloomy enough night without all that.
But it ends well.
You never told me that. How can it end well? It's so sad.
Because they marry at the end. The real people of the song. Imagine the sport on the wedding night. Come on, let's have a go.
As the sisters sing and dream of the romantic adventures they hope lay ahead, Donald Oak approaches the night walker.
Never forget your face, your voice. What of that night?
I too remember you. Mostly I remember your tears and the tenderness of your touch. How your love shone through your sorrow.
Do not talk to me of sorrow, my sorrow. The sorrow which you brought into my home.
You know that is not so.
I know my Mary was healthy, as fit as they come till that night. And if you hadn't come, she'd be with us still.
But she is with you.
Don't mock me!
The sisters hear their father's yell and stop instantly. This is so unlike their father. They are frightened and frozen in place, listening.
Your grief blinds you to the truth.
Truth! Well, the truth is, this house was made far more poor that night. My girls and me, without our house, our light, our ridge beam.
Do you not see her in Anya's eyes? Do you not hear her in Anya's silence? Feel her in Anya's breath? Sense her as I do, filling this place with love. You do not intimidate me. You will not deter me. You cannot harm me, threaten me as you will.
Donald Oak, in submission to his feelings, slumps into a chair beside the fire, defeated. The night walker now stands over him.
You know who I am. You know why I've come.
The lights fade to black. Curtain end of Act 1. Act 2. Act 2. Anya and Siobhan enter the main room. The scene is somber. The Nightwalker is standing near the window with a candle in it, facing the wall. She has put on her cloak, which covers her head to foot. A ghostly image she makes in the flickering light of the glowing peat fire. Donald Oak is still seated, despondent, despairing look on his face as he stares into the fire.
Is there no one besides me with hunger on them? Talkative crowd you two are. Who died? Or is it a sudden onrush of Lent? Let the two of us make some supper. We'll set the table and see if anyone save you and me cares for a bite.
I'm sorry, love. Shouted along this night. I was lost in days gone by.
And you, Aisling? Or do visions not need food to keep body and soul together?
What's wrong with the two of me? We'll go Hiffrenliv. Come on, Anya. Let's set to work here while these two Doraemon bore themselves to tears.
Siobhan! I'm not having that sort of talk in this house. Not toward me, and especially not toward one to whom we've offered hospitality. You'll show respect.
Anya offered hospitality, but I'm sorry, Da. I just...
No more talk of it. This woman and I, we've met before. Here. Years ago. On the night me Mary passed. The night you were born, Anya. And there's much unresolved between us.
Shall I tell them? Or will you? It's obvious you've not said a word about our affairs to them before this night.
I thought I knew you. Me, a wee girl, and you standing there, over there in the corner, silent. Why, Anya came into this world. And you like a ghost or a vision. Aisling. That's a good name for you, sure it is. Yes, I remember you. And why are you here now?
I am obliged to tell a story.
Then tell it. Tell us of that night. You know something. The way you spoke to me earlier. I want to hear everything, darling. Everything. I don't care what it is. This weight. All my life, I've felt something. I want to understand it. I want to know.
These are unpleasant, unexplainable things, child.
Siobhan notices her sister's intense emotion, puts her arm around her, protective, loving.
It's Kumalom Fuinshin. I don't care. She was with me, Ma. It was me coming into this life which killed her. And
No, that's not so, love.
Their speech stops suddenly. They are surprised at the outpouring of affection in each other's voice. They look at each other, silent.
The truth is far more complicated. I owe you a story. Let's sit by the fire. It is time.
They all sit except Siobhan. The Nightwalker and Donald Oakes in the two chairs, Anya on the floor by the fire facing them. For what seems eternity, no one speaks. Siobhan especially is anxious about this.
You must know from the start, I do not know this woman. She was here in our home only that one time, the night of your birth. But there were things that night. They spoke, your mom and her. I never knew what they said. It seemed only an instant later my Mary was, and it was your doing. I know it. The anguish in my poor Mary's face, then suddenly, peace. When you came, this woman set you at your ma's breast. She was the first to hold you. You were born healthy and sound, love. And such a beauty you were. Your ma held you close, whispered things to you. Then for no reason, this woman handed you to me like as I held you. Gave thanks to God for your coming. She passed. With the sound. She seemed to glow. Smile even on her lips. We were beside ourselves with grief, me, Siobhan. Such a young child you were yourself. It was then we noticed this woman was gone. A word, no expression of grief or sorrow, not a blessing in pardon or a word of condolence.
I want to speak now. There is something important I must say. May I?
Oh, may you? Did you ask for permission on that night long ago when you came here uninvited? Or tonight even? You owe us as much. You owe me as much.
All of you, you're putting a fright on me. Ghost woman or whatever you are, and you die. I've never seen you like this. Except maybe when you're cursing the priest. I'd rather be up in the shieling, wind howling, rain beating down on me than this. And I'm still hungry.
Aye, you're impossible. This is my life. Something important here. Bring whatever you want over here, eat it here, and doon the veil.
Doon the veil, is it? Little sister, oh.
Hush, you two. Anya's right. This is important, Siobhan. And it's important to hear this yourself. For all of us to hear. Fix yourself a plate and sit, heated by your sister and me.
Cows are an easier lot to figure out than this crowd.
Siobhan goes off to the cooker to fix herself a plate. As she does, the conversation continues. Siobhan rejoins the group by the fire with her plate of food.
Anya, put more turf on the fire. Build it good. We'll be wanting a warmth soon enough. And if that bottle of poutine is still there, Siobhan, bring it along as well. A glass for each of us.
For each of us. I don't like it. It has this rotten flavor.
And none for me as well, please.
Then it's just for you and me, Siobhan.
Suits me. I'll be needing a sip or two if this continues very long. Are you sure you don't want to join us? Loosen your tongue a bit, as if it needed it.
My goss is to tell of days begone, and things to come, and the fates of those within.
A poet.
No, a night walker.
Aye, sure.
What is a goss?
It's an ancient way, love. Long before St. Patrick brought those thieving bastards to our land.
Dog, please. It is all queer enough, it is. Hearing about me ma and all, without you saying such, bringing the wrath of the Almighty down on us.
And you call me an old superstitious goat.
Please. Please, dog.
My galore, love. No more. I promise. You know something about these affairs. You tell the girls about Geish. Seems fitting to hear it from you.
In the old days, before the coming of the church, it was common enough to have a binding obligation. Some said it was a magic spell or charm, a gas. Maybe you didn't put it on yourself. Another put it on you. But there's no magic in it. Once imposed, you're honor bound to fulfill it. And if you don't, there could be dire consequences on your soul forever.
So someone put you under a spell or a charm or something of the like.
Yes, but it has to do with soul, eternity, not the day-to-day of this life. And they are never easy. These obligations, and some never end. Some can't be fulfilled.
So is that why you're here then? Your goss made you come here. And back then, the night I was born?
And two.
So how old are you? And where'd you come from? Who are your people?
That is also complicated. I do not know it all myself. I come with the wind, silent from where I know not.
So where were you yesterday? Or the day before that? Or last week? You're not just a wind. You're sitting here before us. You drank tea, wore clothing. I see your cloak over there on the hook.
We are wasting words and precious hours. It matters not who I am or where I came from. More, it matters greatly where we all go from here.
You said when you entered this house that you came to take one with you. You didn't explain.
I will do that, child, in good time. First, I will tell you of times begun. Your mother Mary and I, we knew each other from long ago.
Oh, Éire we go. That's not possible. You're as young as Anya or myself.
I am a night walker, child. I have no age. The passage of time does not mark me. The elements do not affect me. I only know that I once lived as you do now. Was once this age, not since changed. As for who my people were or are still, if I once knew, that is now lost to me. At times, I have feelings, no greater than that, stirrings in my soul. I will see a person, a living being, and something moves inside me. I do not know if I ever had a child, I think not. But I imagine these stirrings to be the gentle nudge of a yet-to-be-born babe. I'm sorry. This is not why I am here.
Oh, Aisling, do not sorrow. I know exactly what you mean. I often call it a weight. Here, it seems at times a burden, a legacy of grief. Yet I cherish it as well. I just so want to understand.
Yes, I know that weight, child. Though it is seldom I sense it in my longing pain, resurrection. It is lower in my body. And I too wish to understand, but have no one to turn to.
Nor I.
Anya, love, you know, you've always known I'm here for you. I've always been here for you. Could you not speak to me of it, of your grief? Did you think I did not share your pain? That we both didn't feel your ma's loss every bit as much?
Of course I knew that, doll. But It's a different pain or weight or the word you used just now. Resurrection. Yes, maybe that's it. A resurrection. Something unseen, something new, something wanting to force its own way out to me.
Anya breaks down in tears. Siobhan, who is seated next to her, puts her arms around her. The Nightwalker jumps up, begins to cross hurriedly towards her, but stops, catches herself up, pulls herself erect, and folds her hands in resignation in front of her.
Fear much this night?
Fear not, but be alert. Take in all you see and hear, and do not judge. Wisdom will come in the light of age.
Sinead, that's it. Enough of this talk. And the damned fire casted an eerie glow about the room. And the rest of you, eerie goings on inside you. Wisdom of ages walking the earth forever. Forgive me, Father, but Jesus Christ, you're all beginning to scare the shite out of me. Stagidi achnish argi almachinish.
Siobhan, no.
Don't say a word, I know. But it's the lot of you fools. You have lost your minds, not me being inhospitable. Now we're all going to have a bite, a bit of tea, and try to act like normal people for a while.
The Nightwalker rises and begins to cross toward the door, and the coat hooks on the wall beside it.
And where are you going?
It is time. If not now, then I must be gone.
No, don't go. Dog, please. Siobhan, love, please let her stay. Let us resolve this. It is a part of me every day, every hour of my life. And no one but she knows the secret I live. Siobhan, please. If being sisters, being of the same flesh and blood means anything to you, please give me this time.
I can store. I not deny you a thing so great in your art. Please stay. Let's finish the business begun. But I warn you, if any hurt comes to me, Anya, of this.
Anya returns to the fire, but the Nightwalker and Siobhan continue to stare at each other. The length of this tense silence becomes uncomfortable.
Come on then. Sit, the two of you. Maybe some tea will help calm my nerves. On you, would you please?
Like a choreographed dance, the Nightwalker and Siobhan take their places again, as before, while Anya finishes tea and resumes her seat by Siobhan by the fire.
That night I came and was offered hospitality, just as this night. I am surprised, Siobhan, you don't remember. It was you who opened the door.
I was but 4 or 5 years old then. Yes, things of that awful night come back to me, images only. Sometimes when I'm up in the ceiling or... This isn't about me. Go on with your story.
I was offered hospitality, entered and stood there. I had come for the child.
Me? You had come for me? Well, what does that mean you came for me? Aisling? To do what?
Hush now, child. There is much more I must say. Listen, all of you, listen well. Your hearts will make the meaning clear enough. I came for your spirit. That is my goss, laid upon me long ago by a lost love, one you know, but only from ancient lore. Once taken, your physical body must then surely die. But this is important. Your spirit lives. It lives on. I carry it within me. I carry so many spirits
Stop now.
within me.
You came into our house this night, as you came once before, years before this, and you're some sort of a spirit catcher or what? An angel? A demon? Maybe I've talked a bit much, but I'll repeat Siobhan's words. There's no mistake in our intent here. If any harm comes to Anya or anyone in this house, there's no angel or demon or puka or whatever that'll save you from the wrath that'll come down on your head. Do you understand me, woman?
I hear your words. You know my obligation.
Please. Go on. Everyone, please just sit and listen. There's no harm here. No evil here.
I came that night for you, Anya, to take your spirit, your soul. You were meant to pass that night without grace in this earth. But as I stood there in the corner, Mary's eyes and my own met. She knew. I don't know how, a mother's instinct perhaps, but she knew. And something in me, something broke. I looked into her eyes, Mary's eyes, and I saw my own lost love. And I knew right then, I knew I couldn't do this. I couldn't take you. No matter what may come of me, I could not bring such sorrow on this house, on this woman. That's when it happened. She called me. Mary called my name.
I heard nothing. Why are you saying all this? What do you want here?
Hush down, I want to hear.
She didn't speak. Not in the way you mean. But you yourself know. I went to her, bent over her, and she asked me to take her, not you, Anya. She asked with such feeling, such heart. I knew she spoke from the depth of her spirit, the depths of all those spirits, from the very mouth of my own true love. I stood. She began to push. It was soon you arrived, child, such a beautiful soul. Ah, and I swaddled you, laid you on your ma's breast, and she spoke to you. I do not know what, but I know her words must surely be the framework of your heart, the steel of your spine, the fabric of your soul. Those words, so ancient, so modern.
I don't understand. This is so the priest will have us say penance until our children's children were old if he hears all this. Jesus!
Do you remember, love, what your ma said to you that night?
How could you remember? She's been an infant, newborn. What's wrong with you, woman? You know nothing of these things.
I know Mary's words are locked in Anya's heart.
Well, it'll satisfy your sick curiosity. Anya, what did your ma say to you about that?
Go on, child.
Enough of this. Can't you see the girl shaking, frightened out of her wits she is? No more.
No, Da. It's okay.
No, it's not love.
It is, Da. She's right. There's something stirring in me. There was something backed in. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel something.
It's not important for us to hear. Let it be, Anya. Suffice it to say, Mary's wish that she be taken in exchange for Anya's soul was not mine to grant. Yet I could do nothing else, not knowing how, not knowing what would become of me, or you, or to your ma. I called on every sinew, every bone, every breath. I conjured every trick. I reached back into the depths of time. I summoned my love, called upon every spirit within me, within her. And in that moment, I raised you, Anya, from your mother's breast. A power shook the universe. Stars exploded, a flash, a rush, a torrent of energies. Thank God I was at your dad's right hand, for he took you. And I collapsed, wholly spent into the corner.
Where'd you go? We never saw or heard from you again. Gone without a word.
I had only the strength to make it to the door, to put on my cloak. As she gazed on the beautiful daughter's and sister's face, I went out. I have wandered since, fulfilling my goss as duty would require, but never again at peace. I've spent an eternity in ditches, in bog, in the wild places that only wolves and broken men inhabit.
Who is the name of this lost love of yours?
I cannot say. I am not sure.
Say or say not, it's none of our concern. You come here and frighten the wits out of us all with your God knows what, delusions, flights of fancy, goss, whatever you call them. This is not an entertainment here. I don't know what you expect of us, but
I expect nothing. There are matters to settle.
What tread is there in those words? We've no matters here involving you, any more at least, if we ever had any.
Ask your da. He knows well of what I speak.
I know no such thing, and I've warned you before.
Did we not speak on it just this night, just this hour? Did we not agree? Surely you cannot have misunderstood.
Donald grows visibly more shaken, terribly ill at ease. His head bows, he turns away. He begins to pace, but stops suddenly, is frightened. Then he turns to the night walker. Their eyes meet again, but he quickly shudders and turns away.
You must go now. You're no longer welcome here. You told your tale. You've fulfilled your obligation. Now, go.
You cannot put her out on such a night.
I can and will. Besides, she herself said the element do her no harm. What difference then the rain or wind, or the sun and flowers? Go on now. Be gone. Off with you.
This changes nothing. A bargain made is a bargain sealed.
What bargain, Da? What bargain, Aisling? No, Da. You cannot do as me, Ma. I'd rather be gone, dead, forever than to lose you. I'll not be the cause of me last parent's death. I cannot.
I don't think that's who she means love.
Then take me. I'll not mind, nor complain. My life is so short, but has been good. I have no regrets, save that.
Nor is it you love this woman has come for.
What are you saying, Siobhan?
Siobhan walks over to the night walker, stands directly in front of her, not in confrontation, rather in simple, face-to-face conversation.
It's me, isn't it, you've come for? We gazed into each other's eyes earlier and I felt something, I heard something.
No one spoke then.
You know it too, Da. You know it's me she's come for. I saw you two with the same look. You two made a bargain.
Anya runs to the kitchen area and picks up a long butcher's knife. She turns, looks at the night walker with intense anger, hatred, then charges her with the knife raised. Donald Oak and Siobhan stop her.
No, Anya, no, love. You can't allow yourself to rage at fate. It would change not but increase your anguish.
Siobhan holds Anya, who is completely crushed. Siobhan cradles Anya in her arms, whispers to her, then begins to sing Farawata as they now rock together in Siobhan's arms.
Surely this doesn't have to be. Have you not visited enough sorrow in this house? Pass us by. There are many in these parts. Their lives untouched by grief.
You know it's not my doing. I do not choose.
You chose not to take Mary, not Anya. What? You chose to take Mary, not Anya. What? Was it not your choice?
Aye, it was. And one I'll never regret. But do not think I have not suffered for it, and will continue to suffer. Your grief is no greater than others who have lost loved ones. No greater than my own.
There's no reasoning with you then. There's no turning back on this road.
I have an obligation.
Donald Oak crosses over to Anya and Siobhan. They stop singing It Is Coming. He takes Anya in his arms and leads her slowly away.
Come, love. This time, better it be quick.
Siobhan rises, looks at Donald Oak and Anya for a moment, then crosses to the Nightwalker, who has, during this time, put on her cloak and is standing facing the wall behind the settee, her back to all. Siobhan speaks to her cloaked back.
Is it time?
It is your choice.
Then I'll not go at all. If it's up to me, so be gone. Off with you. That's it then.
Which will it be? I have bargained before and paid the price. I will bargain this once again.
A bargain then. And what is my choice?
Your father or you? Which will it be?
Siobhan turns and gazes on the backs of her family, still locked together in a protective, tender hug. She looks back on the Nightwalker again, then once more on her family.
There's no choice in that, and you know it so. I'd walk to the fires of hell for them. I'd charge into the teeth of any enemy, alone, unarmed, if it would allow either of them an added moment's peace. May I give them a final hug? A final kiss? A final tear before this parting? It's the least you could do. Afford me an answer. Is this your final cruelty? To deny me that is which mine by all that's just and holy?
Siobhan reaches out to grab the Nightwalker by the shoulder, to spin her around to demand an answer. Yet the instant she touches the cloak, it falls to the floor. There is no one, nothing inside that shape. She jumps back, shrieks, almost falling over the settee. The others turn instantly, and Siobhan now runs to them. They all three hug, form a tight protective circle, the girls in fear, Donald Oak in a protective readiness.
Duh, Anya. What is she? Where is she?
Oh, Siobhan, Anya, my loves and gals. I knew the instant I saw this night would bring nothing but heartache.
But where did she go, Dom? Is she gone for good? Has our sorrow passed? Are we safe?
I don't know, love. I don't know.
Just then, a loud, low wailing is heard. The cry of a banshee, perhaps, the howl of a wolf. The three freeze, then without warning, Anya breaks the circle, runs to where the Nightwalker was, puts the cloak on herself, and stands as the Nightwalker had done before. Siobhan turns, sees what Anya is doing, and runs over to her. She reaches out to Anya, touches her arm and the cloak, the shape turns, Anya is gone. It is the Nightwalker, Aisling. Siobhan recoils to the center of the room, collapses to the floor in anguish. Donald Oak lets out an anguished, loud cry. End of play.